Okay.
We left Prairie City and headed towards Baker City. It took a few days and took a lot of climbing. I mean, lots of climbing. On one day, we had no less than 3 summits, all of them above 5,000 feet. There was little reprieve from the heat, except for an artesian spring we happened to stumble upon.
It's like bottled water, only better. And cold. It's nice and cold. That's incredible.
Eventually, we dropped out of the mountains and followed the river valley into Baker City. The first order of business, of course, was where should we eat? And what better answer to that question than pizza?
So we're here in Paisanos. We got turned on to this place by a reader. He said some of the best pizza in Baker City. What really makes this pizza is the thin crust. It doesn't compete with the topping. They've also got an awesome selection of beer. We saw the Abyss. We had some barley wines. Definitely not what you'd expect for a small town in Eastern Oregon. So if you're in Baker City, you gotta come here.
It's a little hot, but it's amazing.
Pizza was so amazing that we managed to finish an extra large pizza pie in one sitting.
So as it turns out, Baker City is also the hometown of Wally Byam, the inventor of the Airstream trailer. And we just happened to run into an Airstream rally here in town.
But it wasn't just any Airstream rally, it was a rally to celebrate Wally Byam's 115th birthday, and Airstreamers from around the country had gathered in Baker City.
Why an Airstream? I've always wanted an Airstream just because of the iconic background, and it's just everywhere you go, everybody knows and loves Airstream. Plus they're really well made. This model, the Design Within Reach, was made available in 2007, and both of us saw it in the catalog and said, that's the one we need to have. It's great. Airstream has a wonderful history, and it's a great machine, and there's so many fun people you meet along the way who also have them. It's been an added benefit. I didn't think I was going to really like this rallying thing, but I'm into it.
There was even a birthday cake for Wally, and some of his relatives were there in attendance.
Everybody want to sing happy birthday?
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Wally. In America. Happy birthday to you.
In Baker, there's a little market called Bella, an Epicurean's dream come true, filled with coffee, wine, and bikes. We spoke with Beverly, the owner of Bella Market and the local Baker City bike advocate.
My name's Beverly Calder, and I own Bella Main Street Market in historic downtown Baker City. And it's everything you never expected you'd find in Baker City. So food, wine, housewares, energy bars. I've always loved bicycles, have had my best accidents on bicycles and my proudest moments on bicycles. When I opened this location, we had enough room to really do something fun. So we started collecting images from pro magazines and then started adding photographs from the local Elkhorn Classic, so that it became a little bit more of a local phenomenon. Something fun, something to take pictures of, something that kind of adds one more element that you didn't expect to find on Main Street in Baker City. Bicycling probably wasn't as safe 18 years ago, just because the concept of sharing the road was pretty new. They were willing to share the road with cattle drives, but not so much with cyclists. And so we joked around about doing a share the road poster that was a cattle drive with what cattle leave behind on the road and cyclists coming through with large splats on their backs. And that was the concept of sharing the road, because we just used humor to kind of get everybody to go, oh yeah, cows, cyclists, one you have to clean your car afterwards and the other one you don't. Since the Elkhorn Classic started 10 years ago, the race itself and rebuilding a couple of roads in town that had bike lanes has really increased the awareness of cyclists and cyclist safety and what cyclists bring to the community, both for entertainment factors and for the economy. And so cycling now, I think, is fabulous in Baker County. We have great surface roads, we have very little traffic, we've got phenomenal climbs and epic weather. So we've got it all. So the first bike lane, what happened was they rebuilt a street, and because of the way Oregon Department of Transportation deals with road, when they rebuild a road, you have to install pedestrian and cycling improvements. And so we had a bike lane forced upon us, and what we lost was a passing lane. So we had just a city street in a town of 10,000 where we had 2 lanes of traffic in both directions and parking, and we gave up the passing lane. So there's now a turn lane, 2 lanes, and bike lanes, and still parking. It was a transition, and transitions and change are always hard, but it created a place for bicyclists, and so it really kind of was the beginning of the conversation about shared roads. It is on one of our connector streets that connects Old Town to basically the freeway and all the new development. And so there were a lot of employees that use those bike lanes. That was a huge plus because parking is limited at a lot of businesses. Reducing the number of cars for employees was a real boon to the businesses, and so everybody slowly kind of embraced it. That changed things. We had people who were against the pathway along the river and they walk it every day. So sometimes the people who complain the most loudly, they feel like they've lost something, but then they find something that works for them. And I think just like where employers realized, oh, I have more parking now because my employees are riding their bikes, they completely changed their mind about the bike lane because it benefited them.
Baker City is on the adventure cycling TransAm route, and it's usually where a lot of people take a break. And it's easy to see why. There's lots of great beer and food, and it's also taking the small steps to being a more bicycle-friendly city.